of January 2021. I want to thank all of you that are watching from all the corners on all our platforms on this exclusive one-on-one conversation today for the first time in this series with a guest, a specialist, an expert, an advocate on issues, and also a founder and president of COSUA, the organization that collaborates or partner with Africa Union. Today, we're going to be talking on the upcoming elections duly planned in February, just a couple of, I think, 1 week or so from now. And we want to find out the situation on the ground, why these elections, and what is going on the electoral process, who is going to be elected into what, and why is particularly this organization and this high court commissioner in charge of the COSUA petitioning so hard on the position of the AU Commission chairperson that he should step down, that he should not be elected on this position. We're talking about Excellency Muhammad Faki, who has been on this AU, who is or was to be or is planning to be again on the AU Chairman Commission in the honorable and most honorable organization on the continent, started as the OAU and now the AU. The AU is the most noble house, as we say, or the compound or the parliament or the organization that is sitting on the 55 nations or states of Africa and its diaspora. Now, a lot of Africans have been so worried, have been complaining about the leadership in the AU, and that most of the challenges that we're facing on the continent and its diaspora is due to lack of leadership in the AU. So today we want to hear from an expert point of view, what is the situation concerning this AU, and why particularly they're petitioning for this AU chairperson to step down, or lobbying for another person to sit down. And of course, who is going to be that? But before we go to our guest tonight, on this afternoon, a lot of leaders have also been talking about the AU on the continent. I mean, we hear voices now, young leaders like Julius Malema, what he's been tweeting or talking about the AU and leadership. Of course, or Professor PLO Lumumba, our leader and chairman of the PLO Foundation, also has been giving some positive but also critical tweets on the AU and leadership. But of course, the diaspora organizations and worldwide, particularly 60% always pointing a finger on the AU Commission, and particularly the AU not taking responsibility as it should. Now, we want to get close and walk hand in hand, and remember the organization that we're sitting upon is called the Africa We Want. The Africa We Want promotes also and support from a civil society expert the aspirations of the 2063 agenda, getting to unite and connect Africans on the continent and the diaspora to be at base with what is going on the AU. As we all have known, there has barely been information, be it on the Africa Continental Free Trade Area agreements that have just been launched this month on the continent. Africans are still not aware of the agendas of the African Union. They are not connected. They're just as disconnected. The youths are complaining of lack of information or employment on the continent, and every finger is pointing to the mother house of the continent, which is the African Union. Now, a lot of voices have been talking about that union needs to be, it's so corrupt, it has to be reformed, it has to be refurbished. But now, nobody knows. But the also question is, does the diaspora and the people and Africans themselves actually understand the structure of the African Union? Are they also taking responsibility in working hand in hand to make sure that we keep what we call the big house, the powerhouse, the engine of the African continent, close in touch, like head on head, to say, what is this organization that is all us about? What are its main goals and objectives? what is the structure? Who is the leaders? Who decide and who even funds the organization? Yes, because we know, as we all understand, he who funds you owns you. A lot of critics are saying the AU is just a puppet of the West. A lot of critics are saying, or voices are holding opinion on the fact that it is just representing the West on the continent. And so they can get in and out and take what kind of resources they want. They don't give a damn about whether the youth are not employed, or what are the infrastructures or the minerals that are not well shared, or even the human resources and the capital, which is one of the biggest resources that the African continent has. When we look at the youth and the population going. Now, the recent conflict or the recent elections in the Uganda has exposed a lot. And Africans are asking questions, when is this leadership due? Is Africa's leadership just an old leadership? What is going on out there? Now, the situation in Uganda, we're going to be reporting on it tomorrow. We've been hearing, or we've been reading about the aspect that the candidature of opposition candidate Bobby Wine is 6 days on the house arrest with no access to food, no water. And what we just learned this morning is they even holding hostage of an 18-month-old baby who has run out of food and water. So what is actually going on there? Yes, the elections have passed. We know that His Excellency President Museveni won this election as it is announced, but then why should the opposition leader be held hostage? These are all questions Africans want to get as a permanent and really facts and details and concrete answers to, and we don't seem to get that answer. Anyways, we'll be getting up to that, and I'll urge all of you watching from the different platforms to share the stream tonight. And like I also announced on our update this morning, the Pan-African Daily TV has changed times. And as you can see, we are also connected to a diaspora, and we're connected to continental, and the time zones are actually conflicting in terms of reaching out. So we decided to change our time. So you can see we're watching, we'll be live every day from Tuesday to Saturday, 3 p.m. Europe, 5 p.m. East Africa. I mean, that's 2 p.m. Ghana time. And we have 9 a.m. in the Americas, and also 10 a.m. in the Caribbean. So yes, this is a win-win situation and a middle point for us to connect the voices on the continent and its diaspora without any clutch of time. So I will go straight into the conversation of today with our guest. And please be aware, our guest has a presentation and would be open up for questions. So you can call in on our WhatsApp number on +49 1578 211 2379, and we will take your direct questions or your comments. Now I want to go back to the studio, and before I go back to the studio, I have a couple of tweets here that we've put in collection of the voices that have been tweeting about the situation of AU, and we'll be taking one tweet after the other to announce it with you. Welcome to the show for the second time, Abebrese Sarfo advocate. Are you there? Right. So it seems as if he's been kicked out of the show for whatever reasons, I don't know. But please, ladies and gentlemen, stay in touch with us here. I think we're going to get him back on the show. This special expert has to tell us why his organization is petitioning on the AU election for the chairperson to be postponed, or I think another nominee be put in that position. Welcome to the show. Hello.
Hi, Dr. Susan.
Good afternoon from Ghana. What time is it out there?
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear
me?
me?
Hello. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me? Great.
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah. So let's just go into the question. Our topic today is why the petition from your organization on the AU Commission chairperson. What is going on? What is your anger? What is the need for that? Do we really need it right now? If yes, why?
Yes, definitely we need it. We are, as you rightly said, we are just a couple of weeks away to the African Union Commission elections. And we have a situation where all the positions are up for grabs and they are very fully contested. We have as many as about 8 candidates that are vying for the deputy chairperson position. We have almost about 100 people for the commissioner positions. And, it's highly competitive. But in the case of the chairperson position, very strangely enough, for the first time in the history of the African Union, we have an unopposed candidate. So it is the only position that we have it decided virtually because it is the incumbent Mr. Faki Musa Mahamat who is running, and he is running unopposed, and there's no challenger. And the anger of the people, the ire of the people, the cry of the people is that we want to see democracy working in Africa. And if we want democracy working in Africa, it has to start from the head. So we don't want a situation where we're having an African Union election, you're inviting 55 presidents and heads of states of Africa to come to Addis to converge and come and vote, and then you're giving them a ballot paper that has only one name and face on it for them to vote. And we find it reprehensible. We find it undemocratic. And we believe that the rest of the citizens of Africa agree with that, because we know that for democratic governance, we need to have representation of the people. So what is happening now with the AU Commission elections, it started last year. We've been up in arms against the perceived intransigence of the head of the African Union Commission, Faki Musa Mahamat, to continue to rule for another 4 years to make it 8 years, but he doesn't want to have any contest. He doesn't want to have any opponent. And we find that to be very, very bad for democracy in Africa. And that is why we're crying out loud.
All right. Thank you very much. Can you just give our viewers the structure of the African Union?
Well, the structure of the African Union under the Constitutive Act of the African Union that was established. Remember, it used to be the OAU, but in 1999, specifically 9999, that is on the 9th of September 1999, the Constitutive Act was passed. And under the Constitutive Act, we have the African Union Commission that is headed by one chairperson. We have a deputy chairperson working with him. And then we have as many as I think about 7 commissioners. We have commissioners that are for different sectors. I mean, for trade and tourism, for, social affairs and all that. So that is, just a quick run through. But the point, as I indicated, my organization, as a partner of the African Union, doesn't have a lot of problems with the elections that are coming.
Okay. See. All right. I think he's out of the show, but we would continue with the conversation when he's back. We just heard him said the elections are going to be held, I think, in February. He's going to give us the exact date. But why this organization is petitioning for the postponement or looking at the injustice in this house is the AU chair commissioner is unopposed, and in a democratic situation, we expect, or it is stipulated, I don't know, he has to explain to us if that is stipulated in the constitution of the AU, that when elections are coming up, the AU chairperson position it should have how many candidates to contest. Of course, we all know if there are elections, then there should be one candidate. So why even the need for election if there's going to be one candidate? And who are the ones that are going to be voting for this unopposed? And particularly, is it the only position? What about the deputy chair and the other commissioners? Why particularly the AU chair commissioner? And what powers does this position and being a leader occupy? What influence do we have, and what are the disadvantage that could happen if he is unopposed? These are all questions that have dropped into our boxes this since yesterday. Africans want to know and have clear on answers on this pertinent question. So while we're waiting for him to as he struggled to connect, Africans, you should also be doing your homework by try to research quickly on the Africa Union homepage. We all know, and remember, the Pan-African Daily TV is also the voice of bringing news from this unique house and this unique board that represents us. Yes. All right. I can see you're facing some challenges out there, but you're right back. Yes. The question was, how useful is this position to the AU and the continent and even its member state? How useful and how important?
Okay, so
Hello?
under the Constitution, under the Hi.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so if I heard you correctly, you were asking how useful are the member states.
Yes.
Yes, the member states are useful because under the Constitutive Act, they have to, nominate and appoint and vote to elect the leaders at the AU Commission. Okay, so we have 55 states at the African Union officially, and the 55 states have to, the leaders, that is the president of the 55 nations, are the ones that will vote to select the chairperson, the deputy chairperson, and the commissioners. Now, the law stipulates that the 55 heads of state, we have to get at least 36 of them that have to vote for a particular leader before that person can be deemed to have been elected constitutionally or legally as the head of the African Union Commission. So right now, the two-thirds majority that's needed, before on the 7th of next month, we can say that the incumbent, Faki Musa Mahamat, has duly been elected. It's what we are fighting for. We are saying that, yes, we all know, I mean, we've been through this for a whole year. We know the machinations and everything that has taken place, by which he has ended up to be the incumbent candidate that is also running unopposed. We know what happened with Madame Arikana Chiombo Rikwao, who filed a nomination to contest, and strangely enough, her nomination got missing at the AU Secretariat. And so by the time of the close of nominations, it was only Faki Musa Mahamat who had actually filed a nomination. We know a lot of things that have happened. We have deep suspicion about a lot of things that have happened. But at the end of the day, we are saying that there is no use crying over spilled milk. We can look forward to, what can be done. And what can be done now is this. Faki Mahamat, even though he's the only name and face on the ballot paper, still requires 36 votes to become, the duly elected African Union Commission chairperson, because he requires a two-thirds majority of the 55 votes that the heads of states are going to cast. So right now, our petition, throughout last year, we were petitioning all over the place for a postponement of the elections and a reopening of the nominations, because we saw that a lot of wrong things happened during the nomination period. But fight as we did, Faki Mahamat still goes on to say that, hey, no postponement, nothing. Let's go ahead, let's move on with the calendar, and let's get the elections, done over and done with. So our appeal right now is that there is still a hope for Africa. And the hope is this: we need 19 African heads of state if any of them did that in his own country, the whole world will be up in arms against them. In any of them, in their own countries, it got to election time and they said, look, nobody's contesting against me. I'm the only one on the ballot paper in my country for the citizens to vote for me. Everybody will say that is undemocratic. Now we have the head of the African Union Commission doing the same thing.
It is unfortunate that he keeps the line keeps breaking, and yes, and yeah, so we would have to be patient. But yes, he has been making some very pertinent points. But let's just see what some of the tweets that Professor Pierre Olumumba and others have been tweeting, like his recent tweet, which made us here 2020. He said, I congratulate the African Union and the government of Ghana for establishing the office of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area in Ghana, Accra. We look forward to Africa trading robustly without let and hindrances. And so the Africa that would work for us. That was the latest tweet that we had from Professor Pierre Lumumba, congratulating the AU for taking these steps on that. But he also tweeted on the African Union should urgently coordinate all African countries to help Mauritius grapple with the devastating oil spill. The African Union should also intervene more robustly in Gerd dam spill. Yeah, and he also tweeted and said as it should in the conflicts in Cameroon, Sudan, Nigeria, Mozambique, Libya, and Mali, among others. President Ramaphosa and Chairman Mahamat should take charge in this years of silencing the gun 2020. Of course, one of the tweets that is really interesting and corresponding to what he is saying from the Professor Pierre Lumumba said, I do not know the modus operandi of the African Union, but it is sad that Mr. Musa Faki Mahamat and his acolytes have shut out Dr. Arikana Chikomborikwa from contesting for the office of chairperson of AU. Africans of goodwill must rise up and demand real change at the liturgy AU. Now, this is exactly what you were saying. What actually happened about Dr. Arikana Shikomboriko, who has also been the AU representative of to the African diaspora in the United States for a long while, and what actually happened in this process that his candidature was not. We're going to be hearing it live and direct from here. Did you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. So
okay.
For the intermittent disturbances that we have, I hope you can hear me too.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Thanks very much. So what I was saying is that, what I was saying is that by law, yes, what I was saying is that people should not give up hope that the democracy at the head of the African Union is gone, because despite the fact that, Faki Musa Mahamat is still standing unopposed, he still requires, by law, he still requires to test majority of the votes that will be cast by the 55 heads of states of Africa. And so what we are saying is that we are appealing to the heads of states, we are appealing to the president to tell them, to let them understand that in their own countries, if it got to election time and they got up and said, we are running unopposed, nobody is challenging us, the whole world will be up in arms against them. Something that they cannot do in their respective country should not be condoned, at the headship of the African Union. So we want them to understand that if on the 7th of January they converge at the AU headquarters in Ethiopia, and Faki Mahamat presents them with a ballot paper that has only his name and his photo on it, and asks them to vote, we want them to see it as an insult. We want them to see it as an insult because we are in Africa. In Africa, if you catch a bird and defeather the bird and send it to your elder and ask him to name the bird, that is an insult. We want them to see that as an insult and reject that ballot paper. And we need up to 19 heads of states that will rise up and say, enough of this kind of insult that we are getting from the African Union Commission. Because we need to understand that democracy starts from the top. And this is something that has never happened in the history of the African Union. Every year every 4 years, we have elections. Never has it happened that the incumbent maneuvers his way through to say that I'm the only one running for the position. Come to think of it, we keep talking about this because we have precedent. Just 4 years ago, we had a situation where at this same time, before the election, there were 3 candidates that had filed nominations. Okay, and at that time, the head of the African Union Commission was Madam Zuma from South Africa. And that precedence is clear for us to follow now, because Madam Zuma, in her supreme wisdom, indicated that 3 candidates was not representative enough because Africa has 5 regions. And so she caused a postponement of the elections. She caused a reopening of nominations. And guess what? That was the time that Faki Mahamat himself got the chance to enter. He came in as the 5th candidate. And eventually he won. Now, 4 years fast forward, he is in the same position. I would have expected that he would have been the first person to say, hey, come on, 3 candidates were not enough, 4 years ago. So let's postpone and let's reopen the nominations and let's get at least some 5 candidates so that we have each region of Africa represented and let the heads of states vote. Now, instead of this, he himself has actively, and we know and we believe that he has actively maneuvered to shut down every kind of opposition to the extent that he is the only face and name on the ballot paper. And also, he just wants to go ahead and have the elections. In fact, right now, he is even pushing for all the heads of states, despite the COVID pandemic that is raging all over Africa now. He is still forcing them that everybody should come to Addis personally to come and vote for me as the only candidate. And I mean, to what extent can our leaders accept this kind of, this kind of insult from Faki Musa Mahamat? So we want them to stand up. We need at least 19 heads of states that will stand up and say, we are standing for Africa. We're standing for democracy. We're not going to Ethiopia to go and vote, for Faki Musa Mahamat. And even if we go, we're not voting. Because guess what? If we can get 19 heads of states that would decline to vote, Faki Musa Mahamat would have lost the elections. Because if he doesn't get up to 36 votes in his favor, it is counted as a loss for him. And that means that by law, the elections will have to be postponed for another 6 months and nominations will have to be reopened. And then the people that can truly represent Africa from the various regions can come up and challenge. If he wins a free and fair election, fair and square, we have no problems about that. But our organization that is for African unity and peace and development and democracy and everything that is good for the continent of Africa, that African Union. Amongst us, I'm not the only lawyer. We have many of us that are lawyers. We have many of us that are, Democrats. And we believe that the right thing has to be done. The reason why we do not have anything in place by way of law concerning this, is that it's never been anticipated that a time will come when, you know, the leader, the African Union Commission chairperson, will take it upon himself to say that I am the only candidate. So we don't have precedence by way of law, but we have precedence by way of, you know, the fact that Madam Zuma said that 3 candidates is not enough. If that is so, then 1 cannot be enough. And that is why we are still saying we need up to 19, 20, 21 heads of states that have the interest of Africa at heart to rise up and be counted. That no, we're not going to vote, because if they vote, they are voting for illegality and unconstitutional rule at the head of the African Union.
I want to understand something. I mean, it sounds like, you know, 1 man for 55 head of state imposing sounds that way. But before even going to vote on the 7th, there has been a nomination list. So did the 55 or the 2/3 nominated him without even having another an opponent?
Okay, the nominations were done last year, and if those of us that have been following, we know exactly what happened. You know, because there was a lot of hue and cry, a lot of. Okay, let's go back 2 years. 2 years ago, Mr. Faki Musa Mahamat started courting the displeasure of the African people when he single-handedly ordered, you know, the dismissal of the then African Union ambassador to the United States in the person of Dr. Arikana Chiombo-Rikwam. Her crime was that she had exposed, you know, a system by which France was siphoning billions of dollars from African countries. And when she came out with the exposition, you know, France was not happy. Macron was not happy. We were expecting the African Union chairperson to congratulate her for doing a good job to you know, to protect Africa. Rather, and ostensibly, I mean, obeying the orders from France and Paris, Faki Musa Mahamat rather turned around and fired Madame Arikana Chiombo-Rikwam. And that is where all this hue and cry thing started. Later, we were to learn that, you know, in addition to all that, he's been doing a whole lot of wrong things at the AU Commission. We have the commission workers, you know, taking to the streets and protesting, you know, series of acts of sexual harassment, acts of, you know, apathy, acts of chronism, and all that. Every time he does something that any other person wouldn't even think of doing, we have a situation where he ended up firing, you know, the head of the African Union Security, you know, and putting his own blood brother there in the person of Mr. Faki Musa, another Faki Musa. And he is in position right now as we speak, as the head of African security, his own blood brother. We have a situation where, you know, he goes on to fire or orchestrate the firing of the African Parliament, the Pan-African Parliament president, and puts his own crony there. I mean, these things keep happening all over the place. You know, we don't even want to go into whether he is fit, you know, to be the leader for Africa, because we believe he's not. But all that aside, we are saying that, look, let us see democracy being we want to see democracy in the various countries. You were talking about Uganda. You talk about other countries. But what about the African Union leadership itself? Because when the fish starts getting rotten, it starts getting rotten from the head. If we had a good leader, it will sit down. So getting close to the nomination time, we, my organization, we threw our weight, you know, behind the deputy chairperson in the person of lawyer, you know, Thomas Kwesi Korte from Ghana, an excellent diplomat, okay, who had worked for the establishment of the African Free Trade Center in Ghana. So many things that he did, you know, getting Kwame Nkrumah's statue, you know, erected at the African Union compound and all that. And we said, okay, if the leader is doing all these bad things and firing people that are working hard for Africa's liberation all over, typified by the case of Madame Arikana Chiombo Rikwao, okay, maybe the deputy can step in, because this deputy, I mean, remember, had won in the previous elections in 2016. 45 of the 55 heads of state had voted for him. So we knew that he has, you know, what it takes to take over and reverse all the wrongs that the leadership was doing. It belongs to history what happened, because a lot of machinations went on and the candidature of His Excellency Kwesi Kotey, you know, fell flat. Then Madame Arikana Chiombo came up and filed a nomination and said, okay, I will run and challenge this guy, you know. And then a lot of very, very funny things happened again. So the process by which now we have a ballot paper that has only one name and face on it is very repugnant. If we want to go down memory lane and go through exactly what happened. But we don't want to go there. We are saying that, okay, fair enough. He has his own name and face as the only candidate on the ballot paper. But our heads of state still have a chance to save Africa. They have a chance by law to say that, okay, if it is only one candidate, then we are not voting. And if we can get 19 heads of state to say that we care about Africa's destiny and Africa's future. And so we are not going to vote as we see a representative, you know, ballot paper in front of us. Unless you give us a choice to decide whether this is the best guy to vote for or not, we are not going to vote. And that is the appeal. Right now, that is the appeal we're making to the heads of states to say that, look, don't vote on the 7th of January. Faki is pushing to get them, 7th of February. Faki is pushing them. He wants everybody to come to Addis physically. You know, I have a copy of the letter that he's written them and fighting that they should all come Addis and vote for sure. That they will be there and he will be able to get them to actually cast the vote, despite the COVID situation. But whether it is done virtually, as the heads of states want to do now, or they are forced to go to Addis, they would still have the opportunity to say, no way, we're not voting for a candidate that is an unopposed candidate. It's never happened in African politics, and it shouldn't happen now. That is the position of my organization.
All right, Kuti, there's a question here in the comment where someone is asking, could it just be for whatever reason that this elections, and even that is, it doesn't really actually make sense, but let me just put it the way he wants to get an answer or feedback or comment on it or a thought about it, is like, could it be because of the 2020 pandemic, as if this year was erased and nothing was happening, all the goals of the AU, like silencing of the gun? Of course, we know that that was just a starting year to implementing that agenda or that point. Yes, but could it be that this year could have been considered a year that was erased from the calendar of the African Union, and that's why they're saying, all right, he hasn't served his goal and met his purpose, that's why we can push it forward? Could it be?
No. If that were the situation, the elections itself, we wouldn't have had any elections at all. You know, because this is not the only election we're going to have. We have about 8 candidates that are vying for the deputy chairmanship position, and there are going to be elections for people to vote, and the heads of states are going to have a choice as to which one of the 8 is the best suited for that position. There are almost about 100 candidates for the various, you know, commissioner positions put together. So they are not saying that because of the COVID, it's a lost year, so we're not going to have the elections at all. The elections have been organized. They are going to happen. But we are saying that how come that even with the COVID and everything, we have a very, very representative, ballot paper for all the positions. How come that, we're having only one paper, one face, one name, on only the ballot paper for the chairmanship alone? How come? So we cannot bring in the COVID situation to erase the year, even in terms of the elections themselves, because the elections are heavily contested and participated in across the continent of Africa. The only problem we have is the chairmanship. That is where we have a problem. And we are saying that the law to and then let the elections take place. But he shouldn't get the two-thirds majority that he needs to be able to cling on to power.
Okay, I'm sorry about your line. So as a matter of fact, what you're just saying is, Dr. Susan, you can put in your candidature, because what we want is to stop this single candidate. So it doesn't matter that you're lobbying for a particular candidate. So you're just saying people that are competent should also have the position or be on that list. So like I can put my candidature. Is that what you're saying? Or are there some particular faces that must oppose?
No, we stand for democracy. We're not fighting this battle for anybody in particular. We just want the right thing to be done. We want the elections to be postponed, and we want the nominations to be redone. We want, if we had our way, we would like to see 5 candidates coming from the 5 regions of Africa to contest, as it happened in 2016. We want to see democracy. We're not doing this for any particular person. The reason why I mentioned the current deputy chairperson and then the former African Union ambassador to the United States, Madame Arikana Chiomukau, for sure,
this is so crazy. What? Okay.
So at least some people that came up but were not, in a way or the other, were not given the chance to.
Okay, I guess we're gonna be getting this technical interruption. So, but you're hearing me from the lobby and the questions that I'm trying to put. We have one last question, and we're opening up the line. Yes. Hello. Hello. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting this kind of technical interruption, particularly when people are connecting. Be aware of the fact that it's not just a technical issue, but it's the global technical issues, because as the lockdown gets intensive, particularly in Europe and on the continent, all services are relocated on our digital platforms. And so the internet performance that used to be will not be the same on this platform, particularly in the afternoons like this. On the continent, countries that are open and they're working, they should be in their office, and all their power systems are on point, so on high volumes and stuff. So please be patient and understand that the situation that we're in is not just a global health pandemic, but even the technique suffers, and all of us are suffering, just like we're hearing in this case. Are you there? No. All right. So we're going to open up the lines and start taking some questions. But one thing that I really wanted to find out from him is, what are the steps that his organization is taking, and what is even the responsibility or the name of his organization? And yes, in case these steps are not met, what is the way forward? So yes, the lines are open. Get ready. After the break, we're going to open up and take your questions on and your comments, or even suggestion. What is the way forward on the AU election of the chair come 7th of February? As we have heard, all the 55 head of states are going to Addis Ababa, Oda. They're doing it virtually, or they're going on face-to-face to vote for the post of the AU chairperson. And according to according to our correspondent here, or this expert here is saying this position is unopposed, and that is unfair. If we want to talk about democracy and the Africa we want, we should start by just doing the basic things that is required, and for us to be able to even trust that our main body again. And like I also heard a couple of, or we've been having critics say, yes, this is the most important house that Africa is having. It is not just fair for Africans or even for head of state to go on that kind of decision without even thinking on the impact that it would have for our foreign partners, for the image of Africa, and for actually our status quo, as a lot is going down the drain. So the lines are open. If he's there, I would like him to answer these questions before we take the calls. Are you there? No. All right. So we take the break and we open up the lines as we are waiting for your questions. You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want: unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherland's calling its diaspora home. Are you back? All right. Did you hear the questions I asked?
I can hear you now.
All right. I was asking, what is the
Hello?
way forward now? What is it that you're doing on the ground to stop this process from happening? And even if it happens after all the necessary steps, what is the way forward?
Okay. Of course, I cannot divulge full game plan. You know, there's a lot of things that we're doing within the
It's really unfortunate. He keeps freezing. Okay.
Basically, all our leaders in the various
all right, can you just give us a moment, dear listeners? Let's just refresh the stream, and we try to find out where they give us 1 minute to refresh, and I think it will get more better from our own side. All right, everything should be good to go. Right now, we get him. I'm opening up the lines. We have 1 hour into the show, and 1 hour is meant for our callers and our viewers to give their comments on this. This is the most important thing and position, and the reason why we keep complaining that Africa doesn't seem to function as expected. So yes, the lines are open, and I'm picking up the first caller. Hello, welcome to the show. What is your opinion? And you've been listening to our expert. What is your take on that? Hello?
Peace, how are you?
Thank you, thank you. Good morning. Yes, I'm doing fine. And you?
I'm doing black. I'm doing black and beautiful every day.
Thank you.
The brother called America, Jersey. This is really almost an atrocity that's happening with us, with this African Union. They're selling us out. Especially, it seems like we're being compromised by the leadership of all of our African countries. You know, not by making him the single individual to dictate what it is that who is allowed to run for office for the African Union. This is something that's very strange about the scenario. There has to be France behind it, even financing some of these African countries and some African leaders in some way where they're not happening during this election, because they know the sister, Dr. Arikana, is definitely the best fitted individual to be able to run the African Union in this particular time of our rise of us Africans throughout diaspora and us Africans rising on the continent. The change is happening, and they're trying their desperately to change the dynamics. But it's over. It's actually over. You know, they can continue. The ancestors are busy, as Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey would say, you know, Africa's for the African. At home and abroad, up you mighty race, you will conquer what you will. And that's where we are right now. You know, the red, black, and green is definitely being revealed throughout the world. And it's no way Falcon is going to stop what the ancestors have in play right now. So, you know, you can continue to try to manipulate the situation, but it's not going to work. But, you know, I appreciate the brother who's on right now. I've been listening to it in court, listen to you, sister. Thank you for the platform. We definitely need to put full support behind what it is that you're doing. Pan-African TV needs to be the go-to place for all of our leadership to be on your line and to be able to make this as a better network to establish. I don't know how you're working with Dr. Arikana and the organization, which as you know, I know she's working with different individuals who works in the media or the setting up different networks. I hope you are one of the main individuals that she's acting, because your platform seems to be the most relevant and most impactful at this particular time, in my opinion. So I don't want to get too much more long-winded, you know, getting our brother coming from. I'm part of the UNI ACL just as well, you know, and I want to speak on that issue, which is going on with the African Union. You stay black, you keep it strong, and I appreciate you, all right? Peace.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you so much for that contribution. Yes, of course. And thank you for actually recommending our platform as one of the big medium and the relevant medium that is connecting and having these conversations on relevant topics. As we all know, it is only us Africans that will build the Africa that we want. No other person, no other partner, no other race would build what our race has been chosen by God, by our ancestors, and by the voice of the people to build. So it is time, whether we like it or not, whether we fight, whether irrespective of what, we are going to fix it. It is all of us sitting on the table, the African Union, the voices on the continent, the head of states, the diaspora, and its people would have to sit down to fix the continent, and it is called upon us now to do it. I'm picking up the next call. Hello? Hello? Hello, you are connected. Please switch off the other call. Switch off the other phone.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Go ahead. You are live. Yes.
Okay. Thanks a lot. My name is Matthias. I'm a Sudanese, but I'm in Italy.
Okay.
What I would like to say mostly is about African Union as itself. Really, this organization, it has been formed, of course, but its objective, I'm quite sure it is not doing the objective that is supposed to be achieved. And mostly when you see this African organization, African Union, I'm quite sure this organization, it is the one contributing to sell the continent. And in the hands of these leaders, the continent would be sold out, and our resources will still be extracted through dictators. Because when you are in power, you cannot see what is taking place. But those who are just watching you, they know what is going wrong, and you have to accept them. So if you don't accept their opinion, it is really very difficult. We do blame Westerners, we do blame Europeans, but we are the one giving them gaps. We are the one giving them chance. If we stand up as leaders, we say no to these ones. We say no to extraction of the resource. We have the right, it is our resource.
Okay.
But
go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. In this case, if we continue just giving them our attention to whatever they are doing, and we don't say no to other things, it is really harmful to the generations. It is harmful for us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In this case, when all these leaders are dictators, I'm quite sure there is no African leader who really resigned and said, no, I have to give position to the youth or to opposition. They are ranging from 30 years in a rule up to 45, up to 42, up to 40. This is the age of a person, of an individual. So in this case, there is nothing that really can change. And if you see African countries right now, there are people who have never seen what is called electricity. There is nobody who has seen the road. And that was the objective of African Union. And at least African Union should be transparent during any election. During any election, they have to be transparent.
Okay.
But they just only do focus on the previous leader. If
All right.
we are just doing election and the same person is going back to the office, why are we wasting the resource that we have? Instead of building schools, hospitals, we should cancel election and just use that resource rather than just doing election and we are being tortured, people are being killed. And for the vaccine, Africans are dying before Corona and with Corona. So we are dying up to now. There is no change at all.
All right.
So please, let us focus on the current issue of African leaders. If we just get out of dictatorship, everything will be fine. I'm quite sure.
Absolutely.
So,
thank you very much.
thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for contributing. And yes, of course, we'll be going back to the studio to hear from our guests, but we just taking impressions and comments from all over the world. What are Africans saying about the petition of COSUA on the AU Chair Commission position, which is uncontested? Tell us your opinion. What is it that the head of state should do not to allow this kind of undemocratic process to function? Of course, be aware of the fact that it is not against the candidature that is standing there. It is against the democratic process according to the Constitution that at least a single candidate should not be unopposed. So what is your comment on that? Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Welcome to the show.
My name is Jimmy. I'm just like an African living out of my continent that I'm very much concerned, and thank you very much to give me this opportunity. I've just for the comment that my fellow from Sudan I just given. That is a very good idea when you are coming up with the AU issues. But I will go back a little bit on the objectives of the AU, because if we have to discuss about all huge things, I just find like the AU hasn't yet assisted sons and the daughter of Africa. When they are meeting, they are using funds, they're using the contribution tax paid by the sons and daughter of Africa, but still more, they don't achieve and they don't really do what they're supposed to do. The only thing they do is copying what other continents are doing and try to put on their table.
All right. So what should the head of state do? we all know all these challenges and the struggles. What should the head of states do as presented on this election that is coming on the 7th of February?
Well, is that a question to me?
No. Hold on. I'm taking the calls. Just hold on, Advocate. Okay. Yes. Okay. Go ahead. All right. I think the caller is out. We are picking a series of calls to hear the impressions and the comments of this petition that you're putting forward. Please, when you call, keep it short and just go and answer the question. What is your expectation as an African? What should the head of state do in regard to the process on the ground? Should they go? Should they not go? Should they abstain? Why is it that they must respect the constitution of one of the most important unions, or the most important house of the African continent and its people? Hello?
Hello, I'm getting clear.
Yes, you are connected. Go ahead. Yes, we're hearing you. What is your comment? What is your suggestion?
My comment is the problem we have is leadership crisis in Africa. Starting from the top leadership of AU, it does not exist. It just exists on paper. We have many problems surrounding us in all countries in Africa concerning election. On power transfer, when somebody has been elected to transfer the power, it has been a problem. This has been for years and years. Where is African Union? There is no African Union. African Union only exists on paper. We don't see it working, because if its mandate is to bring peace and stability in Africa, it does not do what the intended purpose was. And also, if the chairman, the issue which is at hand, the chairman has decided to put himself alone. How can you put yourself alone as a country? Does it mean that all the countries we have, no one can stand on that position? Those are the problem we have. If we have this problem at the edge of AU, what about in these countries? That's why we are seeing today, we have problem in Rwanda, we have got problem in Uganda, we have got problem in all these African countries on power crisis. So the only need that's supposed to be done is to dissolve all the African Union leadership, to dissolve and choose new leaders. We need new blood to come in. We need people like Professor Lumumba. Those are the people we need to see on the face of the African continent.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. Yes, the change must come, whether we like it or not. This is the decade of Africa and Africans to reposition itself, reorganize itself, and reorganize its continent, reorganize its management structures, reorganize its educational sectors, and the house that is sitting as the most important one to silence even the guns on the continent. I mean, if we're for peace and security, we have 18 active conflicts, or 17 currently going on for long. I mean, and some people even say Africa's unending conflict. Advocate, what do you say to that? Is that a position where the biggest union a problem that they couldn't solve? Hello? Are you there? All right, we pick the questions. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, welcome to the show. Hello? All right, I think we're getting some kind of interruptions. Like I told you, the lines are all busy, they're congested because of the period in which we are. And please, if you're calling, don't use the WhatsApp video. I see some people struggling to call, but they're using the video calls. We're taking audio calls, audio WhatsApp call. Call and make your contribution for this, on this topic of today, which is one of the hike. Every other situation on the continent of Africa and its diaspora is going to be solved if African Union is put in order. If it is reorganized and the structures are clear and simple, particularly one of the biggest things that we are not understanding is the media. The media that connects us to give us information about actually what they're doing. I don't think that African Union is useless. I don't think that most of the things that we're saying, they're actually working, but maybe we don't have that access to information. What is it that they're actually doing? And because of the absence of a media that connects us and gives us information, we from the Pan-African Daily TV are saying we're going to get a direct correspondent that would be reporting on the activities of the African Union once every month on the Pan-African Daily TV, and we're working to get an expert. You're all listening to us, all the head of states, as we're streaming this program, because we're addressing all the diaspora and African people are addressing their concerns directly to you. Make it a point of a duty. It is our time now, all of us, you leaders and its people, to restructure and reorganize the African continent, and it is the responsibility of all of us to do it. Now I see you're back in the studio. Advocate, are you there? Hello? This is serious. Okay, good. We all know it is a whole damn challenge when we put Africa at the focus, and we see even the technique. The technique is also pissed up with the way the continent is run. Why should it function? If the technique functions, means the continent is functioning. No, it is not. So that's a problem we need to fix. Hello?
Hello, Susan.
Yes. Good afternoon, brother.
How are you doing?
Fine.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine. Welcome.
Thank you. My little 2 cents on me I come up with now. What happened to what African Union doing towards Bobby Wine? You say it is not a useless organization. I think it is useless. Because how can you see someone detain someone in a house for days now, and no one in Africa say anything about it?
Absolutely.
Is everybody more keep close, like you want the youth to stay, like they want to torture the youth inside his one house? Remember, look at this man. This man looks so old. He's going down. You want to carry Uganda to the grave with him? That's what he's trying to do. Look at the man. He should be ashamed of himself to fight against your own grandson. You are going down. Each person going, when you're elected as a leader, you should stay in power only 2 terms, maybe 3. But when you stay forever, it's only your ideas alone the country need. No, you go and you put in your ideas, and when you put in your ideas, then you leave it for someone else to come and put in their own. You alone have your ideas. Your ideas alone are good. What kind of madness is that? And then the only vote this man should get is only him wife, him kids, and maybe him close friend. That's the only vote he should get. This man is actually going to the grave. Why this one is still running for power? Why people are still running like some big baboon idiot? This is not our country run. As I hear Malama say, when a young man mess up, he will try to fix it because he knows this is the country that he live in. He will fix it back. I try to. This old man, he mess it up. He will not fix it back. He's going to his grave. But the African Union just sit back there eating and picking up their belly, and that's it. I dying to see Africa change. Okay. I want to come here, come live.
Thank you very much, brother.
Welcome, sister.
Thank you so much. Of course, the pain is deep. The pain is deep, and tomorrow we're gonna talk about the situation room in Uganda. 6 consecutive days. Bobby Wine, the opposition leader, is on the house arrest with an 18 months old child. 18 months. No access to food, no access, and Africa is watching. I don't want to say the world. Africa is watching. It is in daylight, It is not misinformation. We see the pictures out there. We read it on the news. Africans are informed, irrespective of what. When we talk about violation of human rights, I don't want us to begin to measure onto world standard. I want us to measure by the spirit of Ubuntu and the spirit of Africans. Even that spirit does not require us to kill or to openly punish and penalize people and just don't give a damn about it. I mean, that is the deepest wound that could be. And I trust that leadership that they would fix that. And we are all calling on that release or access, at least, to take that baby and that opposition out, give them access to food and water. That's the basic need given by God to every human being on earth, every human existence.
But would that any of these soldiers who surround this man's house, would they like someone treat them like that?
We're going to talk about that situation tomorrow live. Today we're talking about the AU elections and this. So thank you so much for your contribution, brother. Yeah. I want to find out, is the advocate in the lobby room? Yeah.
Hi.
Okay. I hope everything is okay on your side now. Could you just answer the basic question? You've been following up the comments from the callers. Yes, go ahead.
Well, I didn't hear everything, but I think it's all about, what is happening in some other countries. But, basically, with the challenges that we're having with the networking and all that I want to say is that let's try and get an African Union that will be an example to all these other heads of states and other countries that, work under the African Union. If we have the head to be right, if we have democracy at the headship of the African Union, if the African Union is going by, the rules and doing the right thing, then they will have the moral courage to be able to call any country that is not doing the right thing to order. We have all these problems in so many African countries because we are having the headship of the African Union itself as the most culpable, because, I mean, guess what? What can you say if Faki Musa Mahamat now calls up any of the heads of states to say that, hey, what are you doing? I mean, like, let's say Uganda. What Museveni is going to tell him is that at least I allowed one person to challenge me. We went into an elections and the people chose me, as against another candidate. But what about you yourself? You are the only candidate and you say that you are running. So basically what I'm trying to say is that let's focus on getting the African Union itself to be functional, to be an epitome of democratic rule. Once we can get that, whoever is the head of the African Union democratically elected will have the moral courage, to call any country that is, doing the wrong things to order.
Absolute. Before you went out, so what are the steps? I think last year there was a petition from African Voices worldwide, and now the next petition that you're doing is the 19 agenda, or what is it? And so what are these two steps? What did you achieve with the first petition, and now you are hoping to achieve with this head of state?
Well, the first petition, as we all know, we managed to garner as many as 28 million signatures last year for the postponement of the African Union elections. We were on all the networks. We did a lot of work all over, the globe. We had fantastic support from the diaspora and many of the people in Africa and all that. But guess what? If we are talking right now about, the step 2, that means that Faki Musa Mahamat is still sticking to his grounds and saying that no matter what all the people of Africa are saying all over the world, I am still running unopposed because Macron of France wants me to run unopposed, and I'm going to do his bidding. That is virtually what it is. And that is why we've moved to step 2 to say that, okay, even if he's running unopposed, we say that your vote is your power. The people of Africa, I know, do not want him to continue to be there. because he's disappointed everybody in Africa. And we want our heads of states to demonstrate that disappointment that they feel about him, okay? And do not go in with any fear of reprisals from France. The vote is your power. That is the only time you have the chance to save Africa. So please, first of all, do not go to Addis at his bidding, as he's forcing them to go to Addis in 2 weeks' time and converge there so that he makes sure they are voting for him. Do not go to Addis. And if the virtual votes come, you know you can vote for whichever commissioner for whichever portfolio. You know, you can vote for whoever you want to be the deputy chairperson. But when it comes to the chairperson position, reject the ballot paper because it is an insult to you as an African leader, because there's only one face on it. Now, talking about what next, what we do, we've planned a lot of programs and activities, but you know, to sit on your show right now, because
I know
I can bet you that right now Faki Musa Mahamat is monitoring. So if we tell the people what it is that we're going to do next, he's gonna pick it and plan against it. But a lot of things will be unfolding from now. Where every day is gonna count, and we're making sure that we're reaching all the 55 heads of states with this appeal and petition. Anybody that has an access to any of them, you can send and share. That is one thing that everybody else can do. You can share, you know, this program, this interview, as widely as possible, because the more we share and share and share, the more it gets to the ears that we want to reach. And we just want to plead with them to say that, please don't sell off Africa. Do not go to Addis and go and vote for Faki Mahamat, because he's there for no good for the continent of Africa.
Okay. Thank you very much for that presentation. What would happen if we, because we're trying to reach out even to the AU correspondent to get their own opinion, we're a fair and perspective-rich Pan-African Daily TV. It will be a pleasure if His Excellency Mohammed Faki is watching us. We would like to have you as guests on the Pan-African Daily TV to actually give your opinion on this. Why do you think, maybe there are also some relevant facts, why he should run again for 4 years? I mean, we would like to hear that. Or if anybody in the AU is watching us and will want to give us a feedback, it's all about communication. It's all about information and education,
exactly.
Educating ourselves. So we are calling on the AU and the chairperson to please grant us your audience, or even just a statement to also acknowledge all these allegations or a situation on the ground. If that is the truth, what is it? I don't think even the Africans are really just saying he was there for 4 years. 4 years, he could be there for next 4 years. Why not? But then we need Africans are asking for a justification. Why should this position be uncontested? That is the point. It is not about you. It is not about being there for another 4 years. Of course, you've been doing probably a tremendous job, but why should the next 4 years a candidature go uncontested? Is it because, yes, I said so, or the Constitution or the voices require another time? We just want to get communication and talk to our leaders. So thank you very much. What is the one last word you want the audience to know? Because I have to be picking up these calls before we end up the show for today. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I'm just asking, what is the last
Do I have the floor?
Yes, you have the floor to give your last statement before I start picking up my calls. They're all waiting. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
No, I didn't hear the question.
Now, I would say,
you said
what is the last word you will want to tell us before you leave us?
Okay, my last word is this. We shouldn't lose faith in Africa. A lot of very, very bad and wrong things are happening, But as Africans, this is all that we've got. Africa is what we have. We should understand that God, in his own supreme wisdom, did not plant 43% of the world's resources and wealth on our soil for nothing. God knows what he was doing. God has implicit faith in Africa. And that is why he planted 43% of the world's wealth right here.
Okay.
I just want to appeal to all Africans and all Pan-Africanists watching us who come and go. All the heads of states that are clinging on to power and doing all the undemocratic things will come and go. But Africa has a pleasant future.
Okay.
The youth
Thank you
of
very
Africa
much.
should grow up with a love and passion for the continent of Africa. And together we will be able to succeed.
Thank you so very much for coming on the show to talk about this process and what the situation on the ground. We appreciate you. At least we have your own perspective. We're looking forward to get the African Union to give us a perspective on this oncoming election 2021, 7th of February. Thank you so very much. Stay safe out there. And we stay in touch. Yeah, so we are going.
Thank you.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye. So we continue with our calls on this edition of AU upcoming elections due for February 7th, as we have heard from our expert here. And the question we keep asking, is it fair for a candidate to be uncontested, particularly a situation where he himself came in as one of the candidates that they had to postpone and give him the possibility to have 5 representatives? Why is 2021 election not the same? What has changed? Did they change the constitution? Did they agree on those terms? Africans just want to have an answer. It is all our continent. So, hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Frank.
Yes, Frank, thank you. You're connected. Welcome.
All right, I just want, thank you. And I thank the advocate for definitely coming to shed some light on the situation on the AU election for the chairperson. My little contribution is, if the head of states are not going to be, strong enough and wise enough to make that decision to add, a few more candidates, I think the staff members of the AU should actually boycott working for Mr. Faki, because this is not fair for Africans. We have struggled over the years to have some kind of democracy, which is, some kind of democracy, I would say. But, for the head, of the chairperson to go ahead and just put just his name and ignore the other candidates, to compete with a position that is so important for the whole continent, and especially for a time like this, Remember, an AU in Addis Ababa should all boycott working for him, so that the whole African continent will know, the people of the continent will know that, we are strong in numbers and we can actually make decisions, not just the head of states. But I believe and I hope the head of states, the wise ones, will make a stand and make sure that, he is not the only one whose name is on the ballot, coming the 7th of February. So that's my little contribution.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your contribution. Yes, you're watching the Pan-African Daily TV, and we are on this topic today of what would happen on the 7th of February is to be determined by the situation in place. So we have one uncontested candidate, and if nothing is done about it, so we're just going to run again under 4 years. But is that actually the problem? No, I don't think, from what I hear and listen to Africans calling in, yes, it is unfair. It is a problem, not on the person that is in that position, but in the process of fairness, as we can see. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you that have been contributing and calling in. I'm sorry for those that I could not pick up your call. The lines are open now. You can launch your call now. And yes, and let's keep the conversation going. But I really just want to add something that is so disturbing on the situation room in Uganda. We had from the direct source of the page from Bobby Wine, who is actually reporting on the situation that they are on. And this is what we hear. I'm just looking for that text so that we get the point clear. What is the situation going on with the opposition candidate Bobby Wine on the house arrest? It is disturbing, and it is not possible that we can all or Africans should sit quiet on this. What is it that we can do? We already had the conversation, a recommendation from the brother who called and said boycott could be also another possibility on these AU elections. But then, what about this situation? Now, Bobby Wine says day 6 on the house arrest, and we are still stuck with an 18-month-old baby. Her dad had brought her to visit her auntie, Bobby, who is the wife of Bobby Wine, just before we were raided and besieged. He was blocked from picking her up. We have completely run out of food and milk, yet no one is allowed to leave or come into our house. Now, it even gets more heartbreaking as we understanding an 18 years old baby that is not even their daughter or just came on a visit, and then the parents were chased out and has no access to food and water. What are we African leaders and parents and Africans in general thinking about the situation? Yes, what is his crime? Being an opposition leader? Yes, address the crime and even declare the penalties in case. But why would you choose the system with an 18 years old innocent baby to go through these conditions just because she happened to have been on the scene? Yes, we are picking up the calls and to get the conversation going. Hello? Hello? Yes, you're live on the Pan African. Yes. Hello? Okay. So I think that was a misplaced call. We are still live and we have a couple of minutes to go. I'm so sorry. Like I said, it is not easy, isn't it? For Africans on the continent, for Africans in the diaspora, for the image even of Africa, that we are going through this kind of process, exposing some of the kind of, I don't know how to call this, dictatorship. I don't even think that's a word. Inhuman, cannibalistic kind of attitude just going on, and this is in the 21st century where the world has known civilization, and even in some part of the world, I mean, we see how they nurture not even lives, just nurture their environment, like just keeping their streets and everything clean, and some people really worship even their cars. They worship even material things and keep it and feed it, and protect it with all their life and soul. But we are here talking about human lives and babies on the continent. Hello?
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 Yes, Doc.
Yes.
Hello? Yes. With the African Union election, can the people in Africa put an age limit on these people who are gonna run for the African Union?
I think that was the situation. They have a 4-year term, and now the elections is coming again, which has been due. But then there's just one candidate for the position of the AU chairperson, as we're being informed right now, uncontestable. And so how do you even vote for a one candidate? So it's just winning. So there shouldn't even have been any nomination or vote, isn't it?
Yeah. No, this this age limit, these people who run in Africa, their age is totally wrong. As I called it before, and I said the age is wrong. Or can someone over even 60-year-old, we don't want nobody over 60-year-old should run in for those seats, because all of them is the same. All of them is bringing down the continent in the ground. They're not rising the continent. They are putting it in the ground. We can see few of them, like Paul Kagame and Makafuli, something like that. We can see like them where people say, well, yes, they are doing good. But the rest of them, what are they doing? You don't hear their name calling, and nothing all them are doing is bringing the continent to the ground. Put some years limit on the people that run for power and make no one change it. You can't just sit here and change it like this old man in Uganda who go around and change the thing, and then he want to sit here until he die. We need young people with fresh brain, fresh ideas who can rise the continent. This person with the African Union, I hear the gentleman were talking about, he will say France put him there, something like that. I never get the conversation properly. What France is doing in Africa? France is not Africa. Africa is Africa. There is no way France should be in Africa giving no one, tell no one what to do. This is not France. Nobody can. If you notice, no black people cannot go around and tell no other country what to do. What other country want to tell Africa what to do? Why? Why? Africa do not have any brain. Africans do not have any brains. Why France have to tell them what to do? Europe have to tell them what to do? Why? We're tired of that. So this person that there will let out all of this money to France all over the year that I hear Dr. Arcana talk about. $500 billion a year come out of Africa because of the leaders, some of the leaders them. No, we don't need these people there anymore. If the continent is your continent, why would you take the money from out of your continent and give somebody else? Why would you take the food from out of your yard or out of your house and give it to someone else to feed your child, and your child are dying for hunger? Is that make any sense? Is these people having a head on their body? Is these people having a brain in their head? These people are so stupid. Why we're afraid of white man? Why we can't look out for ourselves? We need to stand up. Africa should not even pay tax. The people in Africa should not even pay tax because the resources is there to run the country. So we should have the kids them going to school free of cost. The kids should not be paying school fee, books, and meal should be free. Because we have the resources there to pay the public sector and the private sector and help run the healthcare, the school, police station, fire brigade. The resources is there to do it. So why would take the money and supporting a next man country and your country is down in the ground? Is that making any sense? What are our leaders doing? What are our misleaders doing? These guys are so stupid. And before they get out of the seat that they sit down in, they still sit down in there and play pretty boy. We're tired of them, man. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you so very much, brother. Thank you. Yeah, it's hard. I had some comments in our WhatsApp group saying it's just hard to be an African. It's just hard. I don't think so. It is a blessing to be. I mean, some things are not given to you if you are not able to solve it. We're just so powerful, but maybe we are misguided and our power is not really channeled into the energy that we have is not properly organized. But if it has to do with power, with intelligence, with who we are as Africans, oh no, there's no shortage in that. Expertise, wisdom, creativity, talent, we just everything. And then you bundle it again with our resources. I begin to look back and I said, there is no race and no continent that God ever created and loved it like Africa. But then what happened? Just like our experts and our professors say, nothing is wrong with us Africans. Something went wrong with us and someone just did this to us. We're going to be educating ourselves and waking up to find out actually what happened. The brother raised a very important question about the longevity in service of our leaders. And we will be addressing this with Professor Dr. James Small on Friday on the conversation. Is it really a problem of age or the competence and the goodwill and good governance and leadership? I mean, if we look at countries like even the UK, I mean, how long has the Queen been in position? But is UK not functioning? That is the question. Is it really just about age or about the experience and the knowledge and the goodwill and the good leadership? So we'll be having that conversation with Professor Dr. James Small on Friday. Of course, tomorrow we'll be having guests talking about the situation room in Uganda and what is the war going on now? And is it really just about a father and a son relation or something is just hidden that we can't say? Is it really a situation of keeping Bobby Wine there or actually telling the world, yes, I control Uganda and you have nothing to say about it? We're going to be having that conversation tomorrow. And on Thursday, we're going to have a very special guest, a brother, which we're going to announce. I already posted it and I'll be sharing it. Interesting conversation. What is it that you Africans have to know to wake up? So yes, I'm continuing the next 10 minutes to get on the show. Hello?
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm sorry for just keeping you on the phone.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I really enjoy the program. It's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for welcoming me in your program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my name is Raf. I'm from Nigeria, but based in Malaysia. So I've been listening to your program, and you are doing a very fantastic job.
Thank you.
So my contribution to the problem of Africa, I discovered that the problem of Africa, one is overstay in power.
Mm-hmm.
Two, the military, the security operative.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So the third is the colonial masters, the country that colonized all Africans.
Mm-hmm.
These are the three major problems in Africa, because the Berlin Conference of 18-something, so the colonial master are still having upper hand to the African continent.
Mm-hmm.
That is why they keep on deciding for people that will rule Africa. And then now we, the young ones, have discovered their tricks. That's why they want to silence all the youth, so that the old ones will continue to stay in power.
Mm-hmm.
And now, coming to the military or the security forces in Africa, most of them are young, but they want to work to favor the leaders, which is totally wrong. I remember Ghana, as of that 80-something, early 80s, Ghana is running from Ghanaians are running from Ghana to Nigeria until a young man rose up, and the revolution was carried out. Today, everybody, Nigerians want to go to Ghana because a young man rose up. So my contribution here in this program today is let all the African youth unite together so that we can be able to put a stop to this, because all our leaders, they have brought us low before the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
Because like what you said, God bless Africa, a lot of resources in Africa, but Africa leaders don't know how to manage it. They always work for the bidding of the colonial masters, which is totally wrong. So then Africans in overseas, in diaspora, are receiving a lot of insult because of the leaders we have, incompetent leaders. Take for instance now, February 7 is the AU election, as you say. This is my first time to hear that their date is on February 1. They heard what is happening in Nigeria, how the Nigerian government are killing their friends, the youth, the protesters, the AU did not say anything. They heard what is happening in Cameroon, how the southern Cameroonians are being slaughtered every day. They did not say anything. Okay, last week also, they heard what happening in Uganda. Why should they keep whining under house arrest with the 18 months baby? It's a pure injustice. But African they used to rise up and now put an end to this injustice in the side of African Union. Let us rise up together and put an end to it. We don't need all this oversteer. I remember when the current Ugandan president took power, he said, so he made a statement that the problem of Africa is overstaying power. Now,
Your volume, please.
All the youth forgot what he said early 80s. That the problem of Africa is overstaying power, and they have been overstaying power. Now it's dragging power with the franchise. So because the one can be the grandson is totally wrong. Right on.
Okay.
Rise up and put an end to this so that Africa can become number one again. Why are we classified because the leader has failed us?
Your volume, please.
America cannot survive. But we are the third world country. Why? Because we have incompetent leaders.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution. Despite the interruption, I must really agree to the first caller who made the call and said, hey, we need to support the Pan-African Daily TV. I'm looking forward to you. If you are a sponsor, a donor, or an investor, we are actually looking to build the Pan-African media to be the voice, and it is already the voice for Africans worldwide, connecting to fix. You know, they always come spoil it and leave it to us to fix. Yes, we are agreeing this time we want to fix it. Give us the possibility to fix it for our children, for our generation. If you're one watching me right now, call me on this same WhatsApp number after the show. Send me a text directly to me, Dr. Susan Tata, and copy me on our email, even on panafricandailytv.com. panafricandailytv@gmail.com. That is our email. Send us a message and be an investor, be a partner. And you can also advertise to promote your company, your initiatives, your organization. And that is the way we're going to build this media. It is called upon us to take that responsibility. One thing that we know that we've been so disadvantaged, we've been blocked and disconnected from the world is the media. Look at what the media reports on even the current situations. Look at how the media backs up who they choose as a leader and who not. It is time for us to address these issues, and no one would fund the Pan-African Daily TV that is not an African. None. It is your responsibility to build Africa. It is mine to do it. So please contact me after the show, and we're going to make the plan how we are going to empower our voices just by giving ourselves a platform. I want to thank all of you that are calling in. It's just 5 minutes before we close the show. Yes, I'm so sorry about those that are writing here and saying they can't connect to the show. The communication is so poor. Their network is so poor. I understand. And we appreciate that. Yes, but that's also a reason why we should own a satellite, isn't it? Now, if you look on our text, we're currently calling on you to support us on a satellite channel for the Pan-African Daily TV media. We have the resources: air, water, sun, wind, every kind of energy, gold, diamond, platinum, everything. It is impossible that even our voices, our golden voices, our intellect, our personality, our expertise. So it's not even just a problem of the leadership. It is a problem of also us Africans. What do we believe in? Where do we put our money? Where do we put our resources? Where do we focus? I mean, if the leadership on the continent is just 600, for instance, I'm just taking a number, 600 leaders, presidents, and all their structures. Let's just say it's even a million. How many are we on the continent itself? How many? Statistically, 1.2 plus. In the diaspora, how many? 400, 500 million? How many are we? We are so many, and the process and the access to numbers is what changes the game. So I look forward for us to start one solid project, building the Pan-African TV or the Pan-African Daily TV as the main media that would tell African stories from African perspective by Africans. The media that would tell even world stories from African perspectives by Africans. Why not? It is possible. Yes. Let us do it, not just yesterday. We should be doing it yesterday. We should be doing it today. We should do it tomorrow. I want to thank you, and I ask you to join us tomorrow again. Yes, again, live, same time, 3 p.m. Europe, 5 p.m. East African time, 9 a.m. Eastern American time, Standard Time. I mean, when I give the main times, and then you have to adjust in your countries respectively. We know it should be 10 a.m. in the Caribbean. So I want to thank all of you. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your calls. Thank our guests for bringing, being on the platform with us to educate, inform us, and to tell us what it is that we need to know and to do. But of course, we also know that most of us are not only disconnected, we are not united on one purpose and a goal. This is the goal of the Pan-African Daily TV. Not just we complain, but to take solutions that would change our own very lives. No one would do it, remember? Only you, African. Only you, the goddess, daughters, great sons and daughters of Africa. Only you would do it. Only you would sit at the table with our leaders, and we draw up the Africa that we want and plan it together. This Africa that we want is a divided, it's a broken one, that even the boundaries were set before. And we talk about the Berlin Conference 1884. That's also going to be a project that we'll be talking here on history and culture and development on the Pan-African Daily TV. So I want to thank all of you for watching, and I wish you a nice time out there. And sorry for all of you that could not connect because of the congestion, and we are going to keep it. Be aware the videos are loaded here, and so you can watch it anytime within the day, depending on your time and your schedules where we are. It is not just a show one time, it is a production, what we do live here. And so the videos are available on our YouTube channels. They're also available on the Pan-African Daily TV platforms and other existing platforms as partners and supporters, of the Pan-African Day. I'm taking the last call before we round up for today. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
I just wanted to make a short contribution.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Topic.
Yes.
Yeah, what I really wanted to say is that, we all love Africa. It's a beautiful continent, great resources. But with my assessment, what I noticed that the governments, the different leaders, they take the government as their personal company.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why the different countries are in such chaos, because they have taken the government to be their personal company, and they take the army to be their personal bodyguards.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why we have all this problem on the continent. Mm-hmm. They have to stop. They must start loving the people and let the people enjoy the resources with them, and stop looking for validation from the oppressors.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel sorry and I feel pity to see what's happening in Uganda, that all of us are rallying around Bobby Wine, and he can't succeed, because this is a young generation This is for young people. And I'm hoping that one day that the leaders can see in their hearts to allow the people to enjoy the resources too. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hold on, hang on there, brother. You've said something that is very pertinent, and that's how we've been looking at it or seeing it. Even in a company is not a bad thing. Every other government, I think, they exist in the same structure. But when we look at the business model in this company, is it fair? It's not a win-win. It is a kind of a company where the CEO holds the whole company and its workers and structures and resources and finance into hostage, isn't it? And so that's not the fair way, the fair processes of doing business, even in a company. Today we talk about win-win. We talk about the stakeholders, we talk about the investors, we talk about even the workers. They all belong to a company. So I think we have the CEOs, like the managers of the company, let's say Africa, but we lack the CVOs, the chief visionary executives of the continent. And so when there's no vision, the CEO, the executives can do anything they want to do. And I think that's what we need to change. Thank you very much for your contribution.
You're quite right, sister.
Yes.
You're quite right. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Right, I'm getting this one last. Hello. Hello. Please, can you turn off the volume of the show you're watching? You're watching the Pan-African Daily, and so I can't get you. Hello?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yes, that's good. Go ahead. All right. Poor connection. All right, trying again. One last one. Hello? Hello?
Can you get me?
Yes, I can get you clean and clear.
Okay, yeah. I just want to make a contribution following what you actually said.
Thank you very much. Where are you watching from?
I'm getting you.
Where are you watching from, please?
From Sweden, from Sweden.
Okay, thank you very much. Go ahead. What's your contribution?
Okay, yes. You made a statement that in Africa, that not only the leaders are the problem. True. Yeah, but you know that I'm watching from Sweden.
I hear you. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, yes. What I was saying is you have to know that in a house, the father stands like the head of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And if if the father is not strong enough, or if the father is not putting the children on the right path, then that family is bound to fail. So what is happening in Africa today is that our leaders have not stand like the good father that they are supposed to play their role. Because even if they stand as CEO of the company, but they are all bad CEOs.
Correct.
So most of them want to die in power. If you talk about a good business model, a good business model cannot function well provided the company itself or the CEO is not in accord with the mission of that company.
Absolutely.
Our main problem in Africa, our main problem in Africa are our leaders. Yes. If they travel on daily basis and they see how things work in other countries and they enjoy the countries, but when it comes to develop their own country, I don't know the real problem. How many of them are going for medicals out of the country? Could they not build hospitals in their own country where they will go for medical checkups? Could they not build schools where their children can go to? So that the main problem now is our leaders, and because of the dictatorial regime, that's why we are suffering today.
Okay, thank you so very much. That was a very, very useful contribution. Of course, it boils down to that. Thank you. Stay safe out there, brother. Take care of yourself. Good. So we are 2 minutes into the show, and yes, I want to commend and recommend and thank and appreciate all your voices. We can see the spirit of oneness and the need, even the aggressive need that Africans are really just ready. They're hungry to fix their continent. They are not irresponsible. They're not shying away from it. I mean, if we look at even the remittances that we all send to back to keep our companies on the our families now, because we were in a company situation, our families back, and we can all agree to the fact that yes, Africans love their continent so badly. Yes, but as I can say, we are on the right track. We are on the right track. It's not about spilling it out right now. It's about fixing it. All what they throw away, we are going to fix it. Because of course, we've always been fixing, even creating, inventing all the big things that we see today, the science of the world. Our forefathers, our ancestors did it. They all did it. So, but we were put to sleep. That is the point I want you to understand. That even though we are building a Pan-African daily TV media, be aware of the fact that we're building a conscious media. A conscious media, you want to reflect on that? What does it mean knowing who we are to be able to break free? So the Pan-African daily TV media, it's not just about developmental politics or things. We have to go back to the basics to understand who we are, who our ancestors were, what was just our purpose being even created as Blacks and coming all from Africa? Until we address these stories. And yes, we were, but what happened? Who put us to sleep? Why is it time that we keep saying, wake up? Wake up, you that are conscious now. Wake up your brothers and sisters and your children. Tap them every time on the back and say, wake up. Wake up. You've been sleeping for so long. It is the dawn of the day. Wake up. Our leaders, the ones that are speaking, wake up. The ones that are sitting in that leadership person, wake up. You can be there for all 60 years, but you're still sleeping. So it is time for us to wake up, be conscious of who we are. And now when we wake up, what next? What happened to us? Who put us there? Why did we sleep so long? Why now? And now we wake up, we realize we gain the consciousness. Now, what is it to be done? And you imagine when you've been sleeping for long and you miss the day to catch up the train. What do? You get up so soon, you are ready. You don't even brush, right? You just put on your clothes and you go. That is the position we are now. We've been sleeping, put to sleep. Now we wake up and we ask what happened, look behind, look, and now we pick it and move. That is our goal. Yes, brother, I can't disrespect you because you've been calling and waiting. I will take this call. Hello, that's how flexible and mothers of Africa are. We don't want to let anyone behind. We have the heart of a mother, and a mother have compassion. Hello?
Hello, Sister Susan.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much for your job. Well done. And then we don't have African Union. We have European African Union.
Okay.
When the time will come that we will have African Union, real African Union, because this is European African Union. The European African Union, they unite to suck Africans' blood, to kill African every day, and then really, this is really disgusting. And then Fatih Mohammed is not even citizens of Africa. So how dare the African Union can put that as a leader in front of the whole African population? How many million intellectual over there? This is disgusting, and then this is disgrace for Africa, for just to leave Fatih Mohammed alone to dictate Africa with France. This is unbelievable. This is really disgrace for the whole African Union, the European African Union. Thank you very much, Sister Susan, for your job well done. Thank you. We don't even know how to thank you. I'm calling from Holland. I'm a Gambian. Sorry for my English. My English is not that good.
No. Wait, hold on, brother. English is not your mother tongue, isn't it? Unapologetic. All the things we talk, the French, the English, until we will build our own Swahili. Then we can apologize if we didn't learn it well. Go ahead. No apology about that. Foreign language, yes, we're in it. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sister Susan, to bring us this beautiful, how to call it, TV station that the whole African can come there and listen to their voice, and then to the beautiful people there who have African in heart. And then we thank you so much. Thank you very, very much, Sister Susan.
Okay.
God bless you and bless all Africans.
Thank you too. Thank you, brother. All the best to all of us. Yes, we will fix it. Take your broken pieces, fix it, and move ahead. That's Africa. The broken 55 states and its diaspora, the ones that were raped and even abdicated, we're still trying to heal ourselves and heal those ones. And so we will pick up all our pieces and everything. And believe me, one thing I want to leave you, it is the land flowing with milk and honey, unended. All streets paved with gold, diamond, platinum. Do you want to let that go? They can till until it will never run dry. It is the word of the Lord, our creator. It is our blessings, and we cannot give up on it. Thank you. We see ourselves tomorrow, same time. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.